One of the best parts of our lives at a certain age has to do with being a parent. But then again, we get distracted by our everyday lives, mostly at work, sometimes trying to find social lives for ourselves. We tend to forget that we need to interact with our kids. We're going to be talking a bit about that today on parenting. We have Omomi Obidaro. She is a certified QAA and French language specialist. Bonjour. And she is lead instructor at the Language Hub NG. She's also founder and CEO of Haven Edu Services, a child edtech firm on parenting today. Let's discuss quality family time and how it affects children's development. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so I already gave a little preamble. We are distracted. We are engrossed in our everyday lives. We're not having enough family time. That is already obvious, right? But let's talk about the disadvantages right now of not having that family time.
Okay. I think if we make mention of a few of the advantages,
Okay.
the disadvantages will be quite obvious.
Okay.
All right. So earlier we talked about mental health, right? And one of the challenges we have these days that is very obvious is a lot of people have challenges with their mental health because they didn't get to, or anybody help them work with it as a young child.
Okay.
So family time helps a lot in helping your child improve their mental health. So if you have that solved, you see that one disadvantage is already taken care of because
Okay.
at the end of the day, that child, is mentally balanced.
Okay.
You understand? That advantage helps us clarify what the disadvantage could have been.
Sure.
You understand? Another thing is making memories. And this also still applies back to the growth and the quality of the kind of children we have out there. Another major benefit is them being able to perform excellently, both academically,
Okay.
you understand, and even while playing, even socially, you understand. And if we have all of these put in place as an advantage, then the disadvantage is very obvious.
So now I'm going to touch on something. It might be a little bit controversial.
Okay.
We say family time. Not a lot of us have very fond family time memories. A lot of people in my age group, might be wrong for the others, remember their parents at a certain, in a certain state. Let's say almost always hammering on whether you've read your books or not, whether you've done the chores or not, screaming at each other, such that as young people, many of us wanted to avoid family time. The holidays are coming now. Christmas is coming. A lot of people are dreading having some certain family members in their space. So let's talk a bit about that.
You see, in our own time and age, the reason why we have a lot of adults with a lot of mental health issues and a lot of challenges, even trying to be an adult in themselves, they have a lot of social issues and all of that. It's because of the experiences we have as a child growing up in our families, like you've mentioned.
Yeah.
So one thing we can do as parents now is to be very intentional about how we want to groom our children, because it's in this intentionality, because these memories, just like you've mentioned, are the things they would keep. It would determine whether when you grow old, your children want to be around you or not. You understand? So it actually takes a lot of intentionality to be able to say, okay, I want to make fun memories so that when my children grow, they can live on this memory and it will help shape the kind of adults they then become.
Okay.
Understand? So
You also touched on sort of cognitive development, educational development
yes.
as well. Now, not every parent is in tune with the subjects that their children are studying now. There's something called is it quick maths or quick fire maths? That I don't
mental
understand.
math.
Mental math.
Yes, that's the whole lot.
What is mental math? Math is math. Mental math.
Not
Are
even
you
really
kidding me?
math, it's numeracy. So
It's
there's
numeracy.
numeracy, there's literacy that consists of a whole lot. So you have to just be a part of
Well, I
that
want
journey
to say
to
whatever.
understand.
But then they're pushing these kids really far in schools now. Maybe because of the society they're growing up in. It's different from what we had. But now parents are not at par with what their kids are studying. So in terms of educational development, How do parents give what they don't have?
Now, the only way to have what you want to give is in spending quality time with your children. Because nobody brought the knowledge from heaven, and you probably don't want to sit under their class teacher to understand. So it takes intentionality to say, okay, let me sit and understand. These children knows it, actually. They could even teach you. A lot of things I know about my children's schoolwork is because I sat with them and I was able to get explanation. Because each time I try to explain, I get into trouble because they are getting it wrong and they are even more confused.
Yeah.
But when I sit with them, most times it's not even in you teaching them, really. It's even in them teaching you at the end of the day. You know, when they explain to you, you get a bit in tune with them, then you are also able to play around with it. Sometimes we think, oh, everything, even for a child's learning development, oh, I have to teach my child. You don't necessarily have to teach your child. You could also sit and listen to your child. And that way, that child can tell you everything they know. You can sort of correct if you feel you are able to. And that way, that child is also confident in his or herself, because that way, oh, I know it, I taught my mom. It's like, it's a thing of joy. They can get back to school. I explained numeracy to my mom and she understands. You understand that kind of drill.
So now quality time, when you use the term time, it makes reference to a particular length. So it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Is it an hour? Is it 2 hours?
There's really no specific timing to it. It depends on your schedule. It depends on what you can, a time you can make out for them. Either 5 minutes, just ensure that it is quality. And what is quality? Quality is not being distracted, being intentional and making it productive, you understand? And not being too rigid about it. That's quality. You know, at the end of the day, because you can spend time with your children and it's not quality. I'm spending time, I'm pressing my phone, or I'm spending time, I'm watching TV, or I'm spending time, I'm reading, or I'm doing it. Not being distracted, you know, just concentrating on them. That is quality for them at the end of the day.
Okay, so you used the term, you said productive.
Yes.
What do you mean by productive? Does it mean that maybe, you know, something has to come, there has to be an end goal of every single conversation?
Well, you know, if you go into family time or any time at all with this kid without having productivity at the back of your mind, for yourself, you might not even make meaning out of it or make sense, and you might not make it make sense for the children. Okay, so it's productive if I say I want to spend 10 minutes to dance with my children.
Okay.
I have achieved good time with them, dancing, breaking sweat, and, you know, laughing together. Okay. That's productive. You know, I spend time having fun, playing. You understand? Yeah. But when you just say you want to spend time dancing, well, you're on a call for, you know, out of 5 minutes, you're already on a call for 3 minutes, and at the end of the day, you know, that's not productive.
I have to say a big thank you to you for, you know, giving us a little insight into what true family, quality family time is and how it affects children's development. We would love to hear your thoughts on this. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and let us know if you are truly spending quality family time with your kids.